Do you have any bits to add in for the must-dos before a viewing?
You've gone through pre-qualification.
Yep.
You ask about what the property looks like, try to understand. Although you've got the link that will tell you what the property actually looks like, you still might not know how to navigate yourself around the property, especially when it's like a room viewing and you know, there might be one person in one of the rooms living there and you're showing another 2 rooms which are empty. You need to know, okay, I've got a good idea of which room there's someone already in there and which rooms are vacant. Because the last thing you want to do is to walk into a room and there's somebody doing whatever in the room. It's a bit difficult. And also, it is good to get there before the appointment and maybe have a quick talk to the tenants. If a tenant is, you know, got an issue that they want to express, you'd rather them express it to you before the viewing than express it to you during the viewing while you've got the tenants there and they're talking to you about issues. You know, so go in, give the current tenants in the property the opportunity to have a conversation, note it down, send it back to Nahila, but just don't turn up and have the issues addressed at the viewing. It makes it a bit more difficult for you and the tenant and them as well. So get there early. If there's a tenant in there, talk to them. Get there early. Know the lay of the land. Don't just walk into a room thinking, oh, try and have an idea of what each room is before you go in there. And always look at the link just before you go to a viewing to see if the price of the room or the house has dropped. So you're better armed to be able to say, you know, there's a reduction. You don't tell them, you can say that I know you originally saw it at 750, but you know, you're lucky it's just been reduced to 700, so let's get in and get it done, because if we don't get it done now, somebody else will whip it up at that price. So know everything about the property, even though, you know, prices are changing every minute before you go into the property. So just quickly check to see the link is if the price has changed, so you're better armed. Yeah.
Yeah. I would say right now in this current climate, the market is very, very busy, but unfortunately we have a lot of time wasters out there. People are viewing that want to move end of August, September. So again, just rechecking the move-in dates. Also, a lot of people seem to think that they can get lots of deals out here. So landlords are having to drop their rental prices at the moment or offer 1 week, 2 weeks rent-free periods. That is an option. But then we're doing that and then people are still asking for further reductions. So as negotiators, I know it's kind of going to be a little bit hard, but you need to say no to them. It's as simple as that. If you think that taking 150 or 200 pounds off the asking price is acceptable, then it's not. Because if you're a landlord, would you be happy with 200 pounds off a month? That's 2,400 a year. I wouldn't. I don't think any normal person would. I mean, 100 pounds off is a lot of money. So if you get an offer with 100 pounds, I would kind of go with it, but anything below that, just say to them, look, you know, by all means, we will submit your offers to the landlord, but you don't want to get the landlord's back up at the end of the day by insulting him with a really low, stupid offer, because he's just not going to be interested with that client at all. But as long as it's within a certain price bracket, you can kind of work with it. And we can work with the landlords and we can agree certain deals. But I mean, we had a deal where the person asked for something like £250 off. I mean, I just shut them down, to be honest. And I actually told the landlord and he turned around and said, I'm not even interested if they paid the asking. So just be careful with what offers you're bringing forward or you're allowing your clients to even think that they can get, because they just can't. They're just trying their luck right now. But we're letting properties left, right and centre, and we're pretty much getting close to what we're asking for. Most of our properties are realistically priced. They're not overpriced at all. We don't really take properties on that are. It's just a waste of everyone's time. So the viewings that we're sending you guys are generally what people are happy to pay and what they can afford to pay. But as I say, they're just trying to get a bit of discount. They can have a little bit, just not too much. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just touching off what Carmel said, obviously, a lot of the people we're sending you out to see are clients of us and yourselves, ultimately. And the last thing we want to do is to mess up any relationships for us and for yourselves Sometimes you might get asked to see a property, and you might be seeing that one property, that person, that, you know, if they feel disrespected by the offer we put down or how we conducted ourselves, that person could be someone who has 1,000 properties for us as a company. And just remember that just one property, it might, you know, one property could mean a lot to the company and to everybody else here. One person could do a viewing, and then that person's got 1,000 properties, and then it shuts down viewings for a lot of other people. So just don't let tenants push us into cheeky offers that we're going to put forward, if that makes sense. And one thing I just wanted to touch base on is, you know, time is money, you know, at the end of the day. And, you know, people that have less than a 4-to-1 viewing to let ratio get £25 an hour. People with more than that get £15 an hour. You want the £25 an hour. You don't want the £15 an hour. So you need to make sure that you really, I can't stress enough, pre-qualification. Before you turn up, pre-qualify your tenants and just make sure that it's a good viewing, you know. And if it's not, if you don't think it's a good viewing, go back to Nyla, whoever booked it for you, and say, I called them, I spoke to them, they said this. I don't personally think it's a great viewing. Do you know what I mean? You know, and then the person will have to respond back to you. Things could get cancelled from that, but it's better to have it cancelled than keep doing viewings, mess up your viewing to let ratios, and eventually people stop calling you because every time you're doing viewings, but you're not getting any deals. So just really, I really can't stress enough on pre-qualification.
Yeah, definitely. So I guess tips whilst doing a viewing. I mean, most of it it's mainly common sense. It's just building a rapport with your clients, just making them feel that they can trust you and buy into you. People buy into people at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how big the brand is behind them. If that person is a bit of a dick, no one's going to buy from them, and that's the God's honest truth. It is. So you need to just build that rapport. Just have general chit-chat. It doesn't matter. You can talk about anything. It doesn't matter. But they just have to kind of buy into you.
I think just going off what Carmel said, just because you've done a viewing with someone at a property that they didn't particularly like, doesn't mean that, you know, you might have seen the property a week before and you've got this person and they're here, they don't like this property, but you think, oh, I saw a property earlier this week, or somebody could book a viewing with you 2 days after you've done a viewing, and you could like, oh, there was a tenant that I saw the other day, this would be perfect for them. So don't be afraid when you're building a report to actually build up an image of what the tenant wants that you're doing a viewing on. Because if you start to build up sort of your own personal calendar on each tenant and think, oh yeah, I saw this guy 2 weeks ago, I saw this girl 2 weeks ago, this would be, or a week ago, a couple of days, I'll give them a call and I'll see if I can turn this one viewing that I'm about to go on into 2 viewings, because I'll ask somebody that I saw a couple of days to come back onto this viewing. And because you've had a good talk with them, you understand what they're looking for, you're just more likely to get a deal. And if you get a deal, I always say, like, you know, if you're getting the £25, if you do your viewing to let ratio, so it's at the £25, and then you're bringing other tenants to the property from people that you've seen before, and you get the deal done, then that's another £30 on top of that £25. All of a sudden, you're getting 50 to £60 for the hour. You know what I mean? Time is money. You know, so really think about how to maximise, you know, your hour or your time of when you're booked by reusing other tenants that have been booked previously. If a tenant says, "Oh, I don't really like this property," okay, that's fine. Why? What didn't you like in the property? What? You know, oh, I was looking for a large double room because I'm moving in with my missus, as opposed to a smaller double room. Okay, that's noted. You know, so next time when you go and see a property, this is a really large double room. It's roughly in the same area. Don't be afraid to keep tenants' numbers, pick up the phone and say, I've just saw something, would you be interested in coming down? You know, or I've got a link and it looks like something you'd be interested in, would you be interested in coming down? I've got another person, but I'll book you in for 10 minutes later. Reuse the tenants.
Yeah, also some tenants are quite loyal, and if they really like you, they won't even care about other agents. They'll wait until you find the right property. So definitely worth it. Whilst you're on the viewing, as I was saying, in regards to turning on lights and everything, please, when you're leaving the properties, make sure that all the doors are double locked. Balcony doors, windows, and the front door. We've had negotiators that have left balcony doors open, not double locked the front door, And remember, you guys are going round there and you guys will be held liable if anything happens as well. So please just double lock after you, that's all. Yeah.
And when you're doing viewings, again with the tenants, remember a tenant today can be a tomorrow customer. No, a tenant's a customer, they could be a client tomorrow. A lot of tenants that you'll be doing, especially tenants in London or some of the areas you guys cover, you don't know. They could be viewing a property because they need to be very close to work, but they could own loads of properties, you know. So don't be afraid to actually get to know a little bit about your tenants. If you find out they've got other properties, talk to us. You know, we'll talk to you guys and we'll make sure it's worth your while to be able to refer business from our own tenants. You know, so get to know people. You know, you never know where you got I don't know what you will do, but you know, these are people that do things, and you can actually use it to grow your own personal network. You know, networking is one of the most important things to me, as you know, in this business. Get to know people. You know, get to know what they do. You know, and you don't know how that person you could be beneficial to them, or they could be beneficial to you in the future. You know?
No, it's true. When I used to be a negotiator, I would always say to them that if I get you a good property, obviously at a slight discount, are you going to hook me up? So if they're a chef or something, then I get to go to their restaurant for free. Yeah. So you get freebies out of it. You just got to ask. Trust me.
It's been a lot. Like you know, there's people that put like footballers into houses.
Yeah.
And they get season tickets. Yeah. There's people that do so many different things. You know, people that are a lot of people that are in the car industry. You find them a nice property. You build that bond, and you know you're now a person who's driving cars for a living, trying out. You don't know who the tenants are, so just build that rapport, maintain that rapport, and it will open so many doors for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess on viewings, as we say, ABC, always be closing. You always have to close. Any possible chance you can get, try to close on the client. So you want to kind of ask them questions where they have to give you an automatic answer, not kind of...
Closed end.
Yeah, closed end, that's the one.
Open-ended questions so they can converse with you.
Yeah,
yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah. Don't ask them a question they can just answer you in one answer. Get them talking. The more you get them talking, you don't want to over-talk. I mean, I come from a banking background. So before when I before I got into property, if someone called me, I pretty much knew what they were calling me for, what the reasons was, and it was just a very straightforward question. Whereas when I came into this industry, all of a sudden I was having open-ended conversations. It was almost felt in the beginning like I was forcing myself down these random conversations, and it was very uncomfortable for me in the beginning because I just like to know what we're talking about, and then we talk about it, and then we move on. But when I first came into the industry, sometimes I was just talking for the talking sake, which I'm not that guy. But at the same time, you have to get them to talk, because if you get them to talk, you understand more about them, they understand more about you. It just works easier. Open-ended questions.
Yeah, it's always good to know what people do anyway. Maybe I'm just nosy, but still, you don't ask, you don't get. Yeah.
You don't ask, you don't get. You want them. As Carmel said earlier, people buy into people.
Yeah. No, that's it. I guess apart from creating the urgency at all times, I mean, when you're on viewings, I guess if someone does say, look, I'll come back in a few days, or I'll let you know at a later time, just let them know we have got other viewings lined up for this week, or you have got a second viewing in place. Unfortunately, it does come on a first come, first served basis. So whoever puts down that holding deposit first gets the property subject to their references passing, and that's how it works. So you're not trying to be pushy, but you are letting them know if it is a really nice property, it will go. I mean, generally when you walk in somewhere, you know whether you like it or not. No matter, it doesn't matter. Someone doesn't need to sell it to you. You just generally know. You might need to paint that picture in their head where the bed's going to go, or the wardrobe, or whatever items they've got. But apart from that, if they like it, they will go for it. So just always create the urgency. You have to. Otherwise they'll think that they've got forever and they'll just lose it. Yeah.
I'm not as skillful when it comes to viewings as Carmel, but one thing I like to do is, after I've done the viewing, I give the tenants space 5 minutes to go around the house by themselves, so they can paint an idea without me being there, you know, how they would live in the house ultimately. So don't be afraid to let them sort of just, it's kind of paint that idea of them living in a house without necessarily them feeling that you're behind, because that shuts their mind down, you know, and yeah.
Yeah, when I walk through a property, normally, if as a female, sometimes it's a bit intimidating if you're doing viewings with a lot of men. So it's always good as a female to let the men in first. So you're always standing at the door and say after you into all of the rooms, and that protects yourself anyway. You just never know what could happen. I don't know what the point of that was, but sorry.
Not that anything happens, but you know.
No, but you never know. Yeah, of course. I was just going to say, sorry, as I was walking around the property, I would generally let them walk around, and then I might just go and wait in another room at the end while they have a little chat and everything. And then as they're leaving, I'll say, look, I'll give you a call tomorrow just to get your feedback and see if you want to proceed. In the meantime, I'll send you the offer process link. So if you do decide you want to go ahead, you just literally fill it out and that's it. So there's no pressure, but at the same time, you're closing them and it works. It does.
Two things personally from my side that I find to be pet hates is I've got someone coming on a viewing and they're not the decision maker. And as much as they like the property, they can't commit to it, you know, because their partner needs to see it, and their partner is the one that actually can say, yes, I want to, you know, do it. A lot of times when I do a viewing, not to, you know, if I'm with a guy and he's doing a viewing, he says, oh, I've got my partner, I'd be like, when I'm qualifying him, can you bring your partner with you? Do you know what I mean? I want the decision maker at the viewing. I don't want the person who's going to take the pictures and say, I've got to say it to my other half, and then they're going to make the decision. Because even when they've seen the picture, they're going to be like, oh, that's great, it looks lovely, but I need to now come and see it. And I'm like, okay, all right. You know, so when you're pre-qualifying, are you the decision maker in a very polite way? You know, you don't want to make anyone feel like they haven't got the power to make a decision.
Just make the females come along, or that's it, really.
Just make sure, if they're in a couple, make sure the ladies are there, because, you know, so that's,
I think that's it, really, apart from obviously the offer forms and the offer process. Really, but...
at the moment, for reasons that we've taken the website to levels that we weren't allowed to take it to, the offer forms are down, but we will send out I'm going to send out two things this evening. One will be the training in a sort of a PDF form, and I'm going to send out the offer forms and everything in a PDF form. I guess when we started this process, we didn't ever think of the website needing to be down for any time. So that was maybe an oversight. But we're going to create stuff that enables people to be able to work regardless. So I apologise for that, but weirdly enough, it's good that it's happened now, because at least we can look at offline solutions and not have everything online, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we've got the other process in place anyway, so either way, deals will be tied up regardless. That's fine.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one. You know the online training that we're supposed to be doing, there was some coursework mentioned on that got me a bit...
Was it the mystery shopper with the estate agents?
Something like that, yeah.
Shall I explain it, or...?
Yeah.
I've seen a few nodding heads. Okay, the idea of the mystery shopping coursework is for you guys to see how current estate agents qualify you, you know, because personally, I think that most estate agents in today's world, they're undertrained. I don't necessarily think that a lot of estate agents at the moment are brilliant at qualifications. And we want you to do the coursework to be able to actually say, okay, it's not, you know, they're not, some of them are really good, some of them are not as good as you would expect them to be, but it gives you the ability to actually learn how you would want to do it based on somebody qualifying you. There's nothing better than being the person on the receiving side of something to be able to understand how you like or don't like people to do stuff. So when you're qualifying a tenant, when you're being qualified as a tenant, it gives you all the ability to say, actually, yeah, if it was me, I would have done this. If it was me, I would have done that because they missed that. Or actually, that person done it fantastically. I'm going to copy that. So So when you're doing the mystery shopping, you call a few estate agents. There are 2 types of estate agents that we want you to call. There are corporate estate agents and they're the independent estate agents. We want you to get a feel about how both types of estate agents do it. So call them up, pretend you're a tenant, make up, I'm looking for a 1-bedroom. I've got, 700, 800, whatever budget. Make the budget realistic to your area, because if not, the phone call will be very short, the agent. If you say, I'm looking for a 4-bedroom, I've got £200, they'll be like, yeah, that's not what we're looking for. They won't be rude about it, but it will be a short conversation. So drag out the conversation a little bit. Let them fully qualify you guys. You know what I mean? So you feel how it's to be qualified at both ends. And then think, okay, I've seen corporates, I've seen independents, how would I do it? And then form your own way of doing it. And you know what, you'll be better at qualifications than they are, because you know how it feels to be qualified from the point of a tenant. Yeah. So if any of you are struggling for what is a corporate estate agent, what is an independent agent, corporates are just chain estate agents. But if anyone's struggling, please contact somebody in the company and we can help you understand, how you contact the difference between the two. Most of them, you just go on to Rightmove really, and then just look at, if you see a name keep coming up, then they're probably a corporate.
So like Barnum Marcus, Countrywide, so they've got loads of branches all under the same umbrella, where a small independent will be just one little office, that's it.
Did that answer your question? Cool.
One question. So in case that we actually want to ask these questions, who do we call?
Nyla,
or me,
or
we can call.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, in terms of negotiations, so when we negotiate, do we contact you? We don't contact the landlord directly ourselves, I'm assuming. So who do we contact when we're putting offers forward?
So you literally would send the offer process link. When they fill that out, it goes back to our website so we can see their offer and everything. Sure. And then the manager, whoever took that property on, will deal directly with the landlord.
Qualification comes in because we qualify that they're not going to put forward a stupid offer.
Exactly. Yeah. So then you don't have to deal with all of putting the offer forward. The manager will do it. Once it's agreed, he will then let you know. And then there might be certain points where you might have to chase up little bits with your client, but nothing major. And that's it. And then obviously from the day they move in, that week or that month that they move in, you get paid. So the quicker, the better.
Do you have another question? Oh, I thought
Say if a tenant doesn't turn up at a viewing and they just cancel, and you turn up there, do you still get paid for that? Or
as long as you check that they was doing the appointment that same day. So you need to confirm in the morning. So if they confirm back and say yes,
and then they don't turn
then yeah, you do. But if you're leaving it till the hour before the viewing and they don't show, no, you don't.
What if you confirm the day before?
I would always confirm on the day.
Oh, okay.
Only because I've personally booked in viewings for that day and I've turned up and they haven't even shown up at that night. And I'm just like, it's so frustrating. So I've been through it, and yeah, there's no point you guys going through it. But people do, they're so unreliable. And they'll ignore your call sometimes.
Yeah, they'll ignore you.
It's so rude. Yeah, but yeah. Anything else? Yeah.
In terms of Re Qualifications, do you guys require any documents, any form of evidence? Or is it just verbal?
It's just verbal, yeah. And then when we do the reference, that's when we can see whether they're telling the truth or not. Yeah. So that's why we say everything is subject to references. Because I can say I'm on 120 grand. When you do my reference, it might come out I'm on 30 grand or whatever it is. And people do lie. They try to make themselves look better, which is silly because we're going to find out. So, but most people generally tell the truth when it comes to that part.
On that note, in the case that they do pay for the holding deposit and the reference don't go through, do they get their money back? Or
if it's not their fault, so if the landlord decides... So basically, if they filled out the reference and they've lied on it at all, they lose their money because they've lied. Yeah. But if it's not their fault, they get it fully back.
Where's the information cross-referenced from? So when you do the reference checks,
So we will contact their employers. Okay. So it will be through a legit company, not no Gmail or Hotmail account. It will be with that company through the HR. Or the line manager will check to see how long that company's been registered for, who the directors are. Like, not us, but the in-house referencing department. So they check everything. We get wage slips, we get bank statements. So as much as we got them fraudsters out there, we normally get all around that. We're not moving anyone in without that proof. And we have to do the right to rent checks, which is a legal requirement. So we ask for passports and a utility bill or the last 3 months bank statements, which is part of the right to rent check. And we can also, make sure everything's correct. But we won't move anyone in without a passport, unless obviously we get a letter from the Home Office or, there's a situation that can prove that it is something going on, then yes, we can. But even without certain information from a landlord, we won't move them in. We need to have a gas safety, we need an EPC, we need an electrical. So we're not risking it for anyone at all, so we do everything properly. Yeah.
Any other questions?
What exactly is the assessment? Is it in like 2 places, so it's a bit confusing?
The assessment, it originally was built to be 2 different assessments, and then we've sort of consolidated it so that people don't feel like they're having to run around. So the original assessment was just a view how to qualify. And then the second assessment is you take someone, one of our, mostly come out through a property, and you would be the agent, and we would be one of our guys would be the tenant, and we'd like to see how you would run us through the property, how you would close, and how you'd sort of work towards getting the offer. But what we've done recently, and what we will do is take off the first assessment. We've consolidated them both, so you do the viewing and the qualification in one.
Wait, I'm a bit confused because I thought the assessment was like an exam that because I think I spoke to Fion or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was told that you do the online training and then you sit an exam at an estate agency.
No, so
I don't know why.
No. Originally,
Yeah.
you do the online training, and then we'll send you to our local estate agent. But then Corona kicked in.
Right. Oh.
Yeah.
I spoke to him after Corona.
Yeah. So when Corona kicked in, then we sort of changed the rules. Instead of people being at the physical estate agent, a lot of the estate agents were shut down for a while.
Yeah.
But we still wanted to keep the assessments going. We would do it via video call, like a WhatsApp call. And then we just thought, well, at the end of the day, it's easier for us to give you guys direct training and development if we do it, because we want. Remember, the estate agents, whoever's booking you, they're also our clients. So we want to give you the best quality of training. So we thought we might as well bring it in-house.
Okay.
So yeah, it's changed, so
there's
it's
no
in-house.
exam or like an assessment.
There's an assessment, but it's in-house now. It'll be one of us assessing it and giving advice.
Yeah.
A lot of estate agents, what they were doing before was, no, fail. I know you say, well, what's the reason? And I'll be like, well, I just didn't like, they wasn't giving us enough feedback to come back to you guys and say, this was the reason why. They were just like, no, no, I want to do viewings with them. They took it very personally,
Sometimes it's like an agenda as well.
Yeah, so it was just yeah. So now it's like, with our own, we want you guys to be as successful as possible, so we will give you that feedback, even if it's not something you want to hear sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Anything else?
What?
It's fine, no. Keep coming, yeah.
I haven't been able to access my account, and I believe it's because of the website being down. Is that right?
Probably at the moment.
When did you get signed up?
A couple months ago.
No, and you can't access your account?
No.
Okay.
But I have emailed Charlotte, but I
Yeah.
haven't gotten any.
I will take your number
Right.
before we leave,
Yeah, we'll look.
and your information, and then I'll get to the bottom of it and get it fixed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else?
The ultimate idea is that you guys go from being negotiators, doing the viewings. You've all got other things you're doing, I don't know, but the ultimate idea is be negotiators, do the viewings, build yourself up. Hopefully we can then see if we can push you into Carmel's team as
Managers.
Managers, managers get a lot more money and they have to spend less time. And then after you go through managers, the next process after that is to start mentoring people like yourselves that are coming into the process. So you're a manager and you're mentoring people. When you build up your mentoring, then actually you don't have to do so many. Managers do market appraisals. You can just spend a lot more time mentoring, making more money, and actually living your life the way my background, as I say to everyone I speak to, I was a banker for 20 years. Financial consultant, and I spent a lot of time working for someone else. I spent you know, Monday to Sunday, sometimes I was working, you know, 60 hours a week, and to be honest, the money was good. But what I learned is freedom is more important than anything else. The ability to learn how to make money, residual money, and actually be able to use that money to make more money, you know, is something over time will get you guys to try and get into and create freedom. You know, freedom, you can make loads of money, but if you haven't got the time to spend it, it's pointless. And I know that firsthand. So we will, you know, as you guys keep doing what you're doing, we'll talk to you guys more. We want to get you to a certain point. And this I always say to everybody, this is a vehicle to get everybody, as many people, to a certain point. So we could do bigger and bigger projects, but I won't get too much into that. As we work with you guys, you will understand more about us, we'll understand more about you, and we'll just keep trying to get you guys to the next level. Yeah?
Sorry, I'm being annoying.
You're not being annoying. This is why I'm here, to answer the question.
So say you have to pick up keys for a house, do you have to come here or do you...
We'll tell you, it'll be told on the text, yeah.
Okay, I thought this was like your office.
This is, but remember, some managers might hold the keys, or it might be a lockbox outside the property. It's just, oh, the negotiator before you dropped it somewhere else, so we can never confirm straight away. Yeah, but we'll always let you know.
And you know, we got so many negotiators that don't actually work in London or work out, so we will make sure it's at a convenient place, you know, for them. Cool.
Can we start doing viewings after like today?
Yeah, I don't know if all of you have spoken to Nyla.
I've only spoken to Ifyam, I've not spoken to anyone else.
Okay, well, what I will say to you is I'll give you our customer service number, and if you call it up and then I'll speak to a lady called Nyla, introduce yourself, tell her what areas you cover, and you know, Nyla's one who books most of our viewings.
Right.
You will at one point be given a mentor who will also be booking loads of viewings and trying to get other managers to book you as well. But primarily when you first start, Nyla is your first point of call, and then Carmel will then assign you to a manager, and then they'll be calling you a lot to book viewings, and then that manager will talk about you to other managers, and then you'll just get more bookings, and we'll just keep going from that point. But first point of call, I'll send out to the group, everyone that's here, the customer service number. Call Nyla. Say to her, you know, just like I'm at session 2 or session 3, whatever, of training. I cover these areas. When you're booking viewings, give me a shout.
Mm. Yeah, because a lot of negotiators always seem to be busy when we've got all the viewings, and it's like...
And that's the thing.
we're offering you guys stuff, but yeah, so if we can get you on the list, because we need more available negotiators. Yeah. Just one last thing, I was just going to say, at the moment, most of our stock is in South London. Obviously, we're looking to get a lot more all over the place, but we've probably got over 200 properties in South West at the moment. So if you're prepared to travel down, but then if we can line you up with a couple of viewings for that one day and you close all your deals, it's worthwhile. So it's just, yeah. It's got to work with what we have at the moment, but yeah.
We've got a property team, they call out every day, they're contacting landlords every day, they're doing stuff every day. But that doesn't mean that if you guys don't know anyone in your area that, you know, has a property that they want to be rented, whatever, give us a shout.
Yeah.
You know, we'll make sure that we'll come up with some sort of commission structure to make sure you get something out of there. So it doesn't mean that, you know, you can't open your own doors as well. Cool?
Yeah.
And what's happening next week, next Thursday?
Next
There's
Thursday?
another session next
Another session.
Okay.
So we started this because we just wanted to make people feel more supported. So every Thursday between 2 o'clock and 2:30 there'll be an online session. Sometimes you might not be able to get here. So between 2 and 2:30 online session, you can dial into that. And then between 2:30 and 3:30 you can come here and we can talk, you can have some questions. You know, we'll just keep growing and developing ourselves and yourselves. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any more questions?
Go on.
Please, go for it.
Like, how do we get the viewing details? Through what means of communication? Is it via the website? By
Text
email?
You'll get a text
So just
message.
text.
Yeah, Nahela will text any negotiator do any viewings.
And how do we give feedback? So if you've got any feedback?
You can just text her back, and then she will let the relevant manager know. Yeah. But I was going to say, obviously, if there's some information and things missing, I will make sure you all have my number as well. So if you're being sent information quite regularly and there's bits missing off of it, let me know, please, because we'll need to look into it. Yeah, but you should.
I've seen her tell the other guys off. Yeah. I've seen her get off the phone with you guys are like, you're messing up the guys' viewings.
No, but I don't want to waste any of your time. No, so everything needs to be there. So we're a team. Like, I will make sure that everyone's got what they should have properly.
If anyone internally does anything wrong, let her know. She'll sort it out for you guys, trust me.
All right, don't say it like that.
That's including me.
That's right. Any problems about him, let me know. But yeah, I guess that's it for today.
Thank you very much.
But thank you all for coming.
Thank you all very much for coming. Can I take your number? And I'll text everybody customer service so you can get through to Nyla and just have a quick chat with her.